Hello, and welcome to Algebra Unit 3, Concept 3, Lesson 2. Today's objective is scholars will solve quadratic functions by factoring. We're going to use all that factoring we learned in the last concept. So, the first thing we need to talk about is the zero product property. So, the zero product property basically says for all real numbers, A and B, if A times B equals 0, then either A equals 0 or B equals 0. We've talked about this a little bit. So we can use the zero product property, to say, well, if 2x minus 1 times x plus 3 equals 0, that means either 2x minus 1 equals 0, or x plus 3 equals 0. And we can solve each of these equations to find out what value of x makes them true. First one, we're going to add 1 to both sides. I get 2x equals 1. Then I simply divide both sides by 2. I get x equals 1/2. You guys know I like to leave these as fractions. I would, of course, take 0.5. And if x plus 3 equals 0, well, that one's really easy. We're just going to subtract 3 from both sides, and x must equal -3. So those would be the two possible values for that function. So let's talk about solving by factoring. Here I have this wonderful x squared plus 9x equals -20. So there's 3 steps here. The first step is to put it into standard form. I need to have it equal 0. Well, to make that equal 0, that's really easy. We're just going to add 20 to both sides. So I get x squared plus 9x plus 20 equals 0. Then I'm going to factor. What two numbers multiply to 20 and add to 9? Well, that's easy. It's just 5 and 4. So I have x plus 5 and x minus 4. Next, I'm going to use my zero product property. So that says if x plus 5 times x minus 4 equals 0, that means either x plus 5 equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0. Well, if x plus 5 equals 0, then x is -5. X minus 4 equals 0, x is 4. So there's my two values. Again, nice and easy. Let's try another one. Here I have x squared minus 12x equals 64. Again, my first step is to put it into standard form, so I'm going to subtract 64 from both sides. So I have x squared minus 12x minus 64 equals 0. So now I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to -64 and add to -12. So, of course, that's going to be 16 and 4. So -16, x minus 16, and x plus 4 equals 0. Again, I'm going to use my zero product property. So x minus 16 equals 0, and x plus 4 equals 0. So here x equals 16, here x equals -4. Again, not that hard. Well, now let's look at a real-world situation. A museum vault has an outer steel wall with a uniform width of x. So here's my outer steel wall. You can see. The area of the museum vault ceiling and the outer steel wall is 1,664 square feet. What is the width of the outer steel wall? So, in this case, I need to find the length and width here. So this dimension right here is 2x, because I have an x on either side, plus 20. The dimension the other side here is 2x, again, because I have x on either side, plus 40. So I'm going to multiply those. Actually, I don't even need to. So I have 2x plus 20 times 2x plus 40 equals I do need to, 1664. So when I multiply that out, I get 4x squared plus 80x plus 40x plus 800 equals 1664. We combine by like terms, I get 4x squared plus 120x minus 864, because I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 1664 to the other side, equals 0. Okay, so now I see that I have a 4 here that I can divide out. So because we actually have we have an equation here, I don't have to factor it. I can actually divide it out. So I have x squared plus 30x minus 216 equals 0. Now I just need to figure out what two numbers multiply to negative 216 and add to 30. Obviously, the larger number will be a positive number. So let me think about this for just a second. I need to end up with 30. I can do, let's see. So I can do positive 36 and negative 6. So this is x plus 36 times x minus 6. So my two values for x are going to be negative 36 and positive 6, where I set each one equal to 0. Okay, but I also know that I cannot have a negative number here because this is a real world situation and a wall simply can't have a negative dimension. So my answer then is going to be 6. So keep in mind when you're looking at real world situations, sometimes you can eliminate solutions. Okay, so here I have a picture inside a frame that has an area of 375 centimeters squared. What is the width of the frame? So the picture inside the frame is 375. So we need, this is, to find the inside part here, we're going to be subtracting. So I have 30 minus 2x times 20 minus 2x equals 375. Okay, now that we've written that out, take a minute and see if you can solve this on your own. Okay, so as you can see, when I work it out, I get two answers. I get 22.5 and 2.5. However, I know it can't be 22.5 because one of my dimensions is only 20 centimeters. So the answer here must be 2.5. So you have to remember to make sense of the answers when you get them. Okay, so now let's talk about using the factored form to graph. So your first step is going to be to factor the related quadratic. So remember, quadratic is going to be x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. So we're going to factor this, and this simply factors into x minus 4 times x plus 2 equals 0. Then we're going to determine the solutions. So in this case, x is 4 and negative 2. Then we're going to find the coordinates of the vertex. So here's what you need to know of the vertex. We know these 2 points are my zeros. The vertex is halfway in between them. So we are going to add these two together, and then we are going to divide by 2. So 4 plus negative 2 divided by 2. 4 plus negative 2 is 2, divided by 2 is 1. That means our vertex has an x value of 1. If I have an x value of 1, if I put 1 into my equation, I get 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8 equals 0. 1 squared is 1 minus 2 minus 8 equals 0. 1 minus 2 is negative 1 minus 8 is negative 9. Sorry. So negative 9 is the y. So my vertex is at 1, negative 9. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to plot those points. I'm going to do this in red. So my zeros are simply on my x-axis. I have 4, so I'm going to count over from my center. 1, 2, 3, 4, and put my dot there. My other dot is at negative 2, so I simply go left 2. You can see that the halfway point is right here on 1, which is where I said it would be. And we said that our point was 1, negative 9. So I am simply going to go down here, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way down here. Puts it right there. And then all of these are in the shape of a parabola, which is sort of a U. So I'm just going to sort of make my U. It's going to go through those points. It's going to continue going forever that way. Not too hard. Let's try one more time with a different number. This time I have 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. So I'm going to find the zeros for 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. So I need numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to 5. So that's going to be 2x squared plus 6x minus x minus 3 equals 0. So I have 2x times x squared plus 3. Oh, not x squared, sorry. Let me erase that little squared, x plus 3. And then minus 1 times x plus 3 equals 0. So I have 2x minus 1 times x plus 3 equals 0. So if 2x minus 1 equals 0, 2x equals 1, x equals 0.5. For here, if x plus 3 equals 0, so that means that here x equals negative 3. So those are my zeros. So I can put the dots at 0.5 and at negative 3. Then halfway in between 0.5 and negative 3, so negative 3 minus 0.5 divided by 2 gives me negative 1.25, which if I put it into my calculator, that gives me that's my x coordinate. My y coordinate for that would be negative 6.125. So that is negative 1.125 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About right there. And then again, I'm just going to draw my U. Okay, just a quick review. These are the important concepts that you should have gotten from this video. If you have any questions, I will see you in class.